There was little Jeffrey Epstein wouldn't do to satisfy his for young women and girls. He spent millions masterminding a worldwide trafficking operation.
You're taught that predators are old men in alleys. You're not told that a friend, a socialite, a woman can be a predator too.
The Ellen situation.
Yeah.
You know, people found out that Ellen was mean, and all these people came out and said, Ellen's actually a bitch. And everybody, whoa,
Yeah.
can't believe it. And she lost everything. She fell.
For years, Ellen DeGeneres wasn't just a television host. She was marketed as one of the safest and most lovable celebrities in America. Every afternoon, millions of viewers tuned in to watch her dance across the stage, surprise guests with gifts, and repeat the same message over and over again. Be kind. That phrase became more than a slogan. It became her entire identity. Brands trusted her, celebrities wanted to sit next to her, and audiences felt like they personally knew her. At one point, Ellen's reputation was so powerful that criticizing her almost felt impossible. She had built the kind of image most celebrities spend decades chasing, but behind all the smiles and carefully controlled television moments, rumors had already started circulating quietly throughout Hollywood. Comedians, former staff members, and industry insiders allegedly described a completely different version of Ellen when the cameras stopped rolling. According to several stories that would later go viral online, some people working around her claimed the atmosphere backstage felt tense, cold, and intimidating. But back then, almost nobody wanted to publicly challenge one of the most powerful women in daytime television. Her brand was simply too strong, and that's what made the collapse so shocking. Because once audiences began questioning whether Ellen's kindness was genuine, viewers started revisiting old interviews, awkward celebrity interactions, and uncomfortable moments they had ignored for years. Suddenly, clips that once looked harmless started feeling different. The internet began asking one massive question: was Ellen's public persona always just an act? And once that doubt entered people's minds, everything else started unraveling fast. What truly changed Ellen's public image wasn't one single scandal. It was the moment former employees started speaking publicly about what allegedly happened behind the scenes of her show. At first, the accusations seemed small. A few workers described the environment as uncomfortable and emotionally exhausting. But then, more stories started appearing. Former staff members claimed there was favoritism, fear, and pressure inside the workplace. Others alleged that employees were terrified of making mistakes because of how harsh the atmosphere could allegedly become. What shocked viewers the most was how different these stories sounded from Ellen's cheerful television personality. Online, people couldn't stop talking about the contradiction. How could someone whose entire career revolved around kindness allegedly create such a negative environment backstage? And then came the celebrities and comedians, who seemed less surprised than the public. Several industry figures hinted that Ellen's behavior had quietly been known in Hollywood for years. Old interviews resurfaced showing awkward exchanges between Ellen and guests that suddenly looked more uncomfortable than funny. Viewers began analyzing everything differently. Small comments that once seemed playful now appeared passive-aggressive to some audiences online. Even people who worked in television started admitting that Ellen had a reputation behind the scenes long before the public heard about it. The biggest problem for Ellen wasn't just the allegations themselves. It was how quickly people believed them. The internet moved fast, and once public opinion started turning against her, the floodgates opened completely. But while Ellen was trying to survive one controversy, another much darker set of rumors was already beginning to spread online. And this time, the speculation would drag her name into one of the most disturbing celebrity scandals in modern history. As Jeffrey Epstein's network became one of the most talked about scandals in the world, internet users began obsessively searching for every celebrity, billionaire, politician, or public figure who had ever crossed paths with him. Social media turned into a non-stop investigation where people analyzed flight logs, old photographs, party appearances, and archived interviews looking for hidden connections. And somewhere in the middle of all that speculation, Ellen DeGeneres' name started appearing in online discussions. To be clear, no evidence publicly proved Ellen committed wrongdoing related to Epstein. But on the internet, Association alone was enough to fuel endless theories. Once conspiracy focused YouTube channels and social media accounts started mentioning her name, the rumors spread rapidly. Suddenly, old clips, celebrity friendships, and public appearances were being examined under an entirely different lens. This is where the psychology of internet conspiracy culture became impossible to ignore. People weren't just looking for facts anymore, they were looking for patterns. Once viewers become emotionally invested in a theory, almost anything can begin to look suspicious. That's exactly what happened here. Online investigators started connecting unrelated moments together, building narratives that quickly gained millions of views. Some people argued that Hollywood elites were all connected behind the scenes, while others believed innocent coincidences were being transformed into viral conspiracies. But regardless of what was true or false, one thing became clear. Ellen's name was now attached to a scandal so massive that public curiosity exploded overnight. And then the internet discovered an old Oscars moment involving pizza, Harvey Weinstein, and Ellen DeGeneres that conspiracy theorists would spend years obsessing over. What happened next pushed the rumors even further into the mainstream. One of the strangest internet theories surrounding Ellen came from a moment that originally looked completely harmless. During the Academy Awards, Ellen famously ordered pizza for celebrities in the audience and jokingly collected money from stars like Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey. At the time, viewers thought it was funny and spontaneous. The clip was treated as one of the most memorable Oscar moments in years. But after Epstein, Weinstein, and other major scandals dominated headlines, internet users started revisiting the footage with completely different eyes. Suddenly, conspiracy communities online began claiming the pizza jokes had some kind of hidden meaning. Social media users pointed to old conspiracy theories involving coded language among elites, despite the fact that authorities and investigators repeatedly debunked many of those claims. Still, the internet refused to let the theory die. Millions of viewers watched the clip again, this time searching for suspicious details instead of comedy. People online questioned why certain celebrities were involved, why Ellen specifically centered the joke around pizza, and why Harvey Weinstein's participation looked uncomfortable in hindsight. The reality is that once public trust collapses around celebrities, audiences start reinterpreting old moments through a darker lens. What once looked entertaining can suddenly appear unsettling years later. And because the internet rewards mystery and speculation, the theory spread faster than facts could keep up. Some viewers dismissed the entire thing as ridiculous conspiracy thinking, while others became convinced there had to be something deeper happening behind the scenes in Hollywood. But the pizza moment was only one piece of the online obsession, because soon internet investigators started focusing on something even stranger: the actual design of Ellen's talk show set itself. As conspiracy theories around Hollywood continued spreading online, internet users became increasingly obsessed with symbolism. People started comparing celebrity homes, fashion choices, stage designs, and even furniture arrangements looking for hidden meanings. And eventually, some online communities began claiming that certain visual elements on Ellen's talk show resembled structures and designs associated with Jeffrey Epstein's properties. Videos comparing couches, lighting, palm trees, windows, and color schemes started circulating across TikTok, YouTube, and conspiracy forums. To many people, the comparisons looked ridiculous, but to others already convinced there were hidden connections between powerful celebrities, the similarities felt too specific to ignore. This is how internet rabbit holes grow. Once audiences emotionally commit to a theory, they start interpreting ordinary details as evidence supporting what they already believe. Psychologists sometimes refer to this as confirmation bias, and social media algorithms only intensify it further. The more sensational the theory became, the more engagement it received online. People who had never even watched Ellen's show suddenly found themselves analyzing screenshots and freeze frames looking for clues. Meanwhile, Ellen's real world reputation was already collapsing due to the workplace allegations surrounding her show. That overlap between actual controversy and online conspiracy theories created a dangerous combination. Reality and speculation started blending together in the minds of viewers. Some people no longer separated proven accusations from internet rumors. Everything became part of one giant narrative about hidden darkness behind celebrity culture. And while the internet continued building theories around Ellen, her career was beginning to suffer in ways that could no longer be ignored. The woman who once dominated daytime television was now watching her public image fall apart in real time. When Ellen announced that her show was ending, many viewers immediately questioned whether the decision was truly voluntary. Officially, Ellen suggested it simply felt like the right time to move on after years on television. But online, people weren't buying that explanation. By that point, her public image had changed dramatically. Ratings reportedly declined, criticism continued growing, and the once untouchable daytime host suddenly looked vulnerable for the first time in decades. What made the downfall especially shocking was how quickly Hollywood seemed to distance itself from her. Celebrities, who once appeared constantly on her show, became less visible. Fans who had defended her for years started reconsidering their opinions. Even casual viewers noticed the atmosphere around Ellen had changed completely. There was a growing sense that audiences no longer viewed her same way after the workplace allegations exploded online. The be kind image that once protected her had become difficult to separate from the accusations surrounding the show. And in the age of social media, reputations can collapse unbelievably